All right, if you're getting ready for your PCI Level 1 or Level 2 exam, listen up. You are in exactly the right spot. We're going to do a high-speed run-through of concrete batching, the stuff you absolutely have to know. So let's get you prepped and ready to pass.
Okay, let's kick things off with a big one. And I mean a really big one. I want you to really think about this, because the idea behind this question, it's gonna pop up on your exam. For sure. So, what's the #1 reason, the single biggest thing that causes poor quality concrete?
There it is. Inaccurate batching. It's the source of so many headaches out in the field. And that's exactly why this isn't just about ticking a box on your exam. Nailing these procedures is about quality, it's about safety on the job. So we're going to make sure you know this stuff backwards and forwards.
So, before we even touch on cement or water or anything else, there's one rule to rule them all. Seriously, you can think of this as the golden rule of batching. It's the foundation for everything we're about to cover. Burn this sentence into your brain. Seriously. This is pretty much your job description once you're certified. You're the one who has to inspect and verify. I can almost promise you this concept will show up in different ways on the exam, so lock it in right now. You are the last line of defense for quality. Okay, so let's take that golden rule and apply it. First up, cement. It's the most basic ingredient, right? But this is where precision is everything. And you can bet the exam is going to hit you with questions on these simple but critical procedures. Look how simple this is. This is a gimme question on the exam. You can't get this wrong. For full bags, you're checking 1 out of every 10. Simple. But what about partial bags, any broken bags? The rule's totally different. It's absolute. You weigh every single one. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's a classic detail they love to test. All right, moving on to water. Think of it this way. After cement, water is the most powerful ingredient you've got. The amount you add has a massive effect on what that concrete will do. It's simple, really. If you're not in control of the water, you are not in control of the concrete. So this is all about the why. Too much water? It's just poison for good concrete. For the exam, you gotta know that every little piece, how much, how you measure it, when you add it, has to be controlled like crazy. And hey, see that last point about SCC, self-consolidating concrete? The sequence of adding water is a game changer. That's a classic level 2 type of detail, so pay close attention. All right, let's get into the tricky stuff. Admixtures. This is where you really show you know your stuff. It's definitely the most complex part of batching, and if you can nail this down, it's going to pay off big time on that exam. Okay, before we dive into specific admixtures, here are the rules that apply to all of them. First and foremost, what does the manufacturer say? That's your Bible. Always follow it. And this is a big one. If you're using a liquid admixture, the water in it, it counts. It's part of your total mixing water. And just like we said before, timing and sequence, it all matters a lot. Let's get specific. Pigments. The whole point is to get a nice uniform color, right? So how do you make sure that happens? Well, the rule is super strict. They have to be pre-weighed, and you have to batch them from packages that are already sized for a single batch. It takes all the guesswork out of it, guarantees consistency. Okay, stop and look at this. This sequence is something you just have to know. If you're using the same scale for mineral admixtures and cement, this is the only way to do it. It's cement, then your admixture or pigment, and then your aggregates. That's it. Memorize it. This is pure, testable exam gold. Whoa, okay, focus up on this one. This detail trips a lot of people up on the exam. Silica fume. The rule completely changes depending on how you're mixing. In a central mixer, you feed it in slowly with all the other stuff. But in a truck mixer with a slurry, it goes in first, before anything else. And the reason why is key. That slurry is carrying a ton of your batch water. If you remember that, you'll remember the rule. Now, metakaolin is a little different. It's not as picky as silica fume. You've got options here. You can either add it right with the cement, or you can wait and put it in after everything else has been charged. It's that simple. But you need to know the difference between the rules for each admixture. Okay, we've been through the core stuff. Now it's time for a lightning round, a final review.
This is the cram session to lock all this stuff in your head so you can walk into that test feeling good.
Let's nail these down. Cement, 1 in 10 full bags, all partial bags. Water, control is non-negotiable. Mineral admixtures on one scale, it's cement, then admixture, then aggregates, every time. Silica fume, the sequence depends completely on central versus truck mixing. And the big one, the golden rule, your job is to inspect and verify. Always.
So there you have it, the key info you need for the batching questions on your PCI exam. But here's the real thing. Knowing the procedures is one thing. Being ready to own that responsibility is another. So, are you ready to be that person on the job site who guarantees quality? Because that's what being certified is all about. Now go ace that test.